Great. Good morning, everyone. I am Jennifer Slattery with the League of Cities and Towns, and we're happy to have you back for another Workshop Wednesday this week. We're excited to have our friends from OER join us this week to talk about energy efficiency block grants. So I'm going to turn it over to Nathan Cleveland, who is at the Administrator of Energy Programs at OER, and just ask that you folks, if you do have questions, go ahead and you can type those into the chat, and we will get to those at the end. I can help moderate that. So welcome and thank you. Hi, Nathan.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for having us, Jennifer. We're grateful for the opportunity to get in front of this group and talk a little bit about the EECBG program. As we're going through, if you do have questions, please fire those in the chat. We'll catch those at the end. I'm going to try to leave a lot of time for that. And I've got my colleagues, Karen Bradbury and Terry Brooks here as well. They'll be helping administer this program alongside me, and we look forward to working with all of you to do some cool projects. So what is the EECBG program? It's the Energy Efficiency and Conservation Block Grant Program that was part of one of the various federal bills that were passed over the last couple of years, specifically the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. And the point of this one is to provide some money from the federal government to target investments in communities all across the country. The funding from this program will either come to your community directly from the Department of Energy or through our office, depending on your community. And I'll make sure everyone knows who they need to go to get their funds by the time we're done here this morning. The EECBG program is designed to be broadly applicable to a whole host of project types that broadly support energy planning, energy efficiency, or capacity building at the local level, with the idea here to provide funds in as flexible a manner as possible to really help each of your communities with whatever your local energy efforts and priorities are. So in terms of the specifics for Rhode Island, our office received $1.6 million from DOE that we are to distribute to 29 cities and towns across the state, using a formula to determine how much each community will get from that $1.6 million bucket. The formula is based on a number of different factors that DOE put together, things like population size, whether or not the community is considered a disadvantaged community based on the White House's climate justice screening tool and a few other things. So that's how the funding amounts were determined. We did not really have much discretion with that. That was kind of coming down to DOE. You'll note that only 29 of the cities and towns in Rhode Island will be applying for their funds from us. 10 of the cities and towns will be receiving their money directly from DOE. That's how they've structured it. And so if you are one of the 10 communities listed there in italics, Coventry, Cranston, Cumberland, East Providence, North Providence, Pawtucket, Providence, South Kingstown, Warwick, or Woonsocket, you'll be getting your EECBG funds directly from DOE. You should have been contacted by DOE already, and a pre-award information sheet should have been submitted to them. And if you have to get your funds directly from DOE, those final applications will be due to them on or before April 30th of 2024. I'll have some more information in the summary slides on how you apply and where you can check your status if you're one of those 10 communities that is applying to DOE. But that's something that you or your municipal leaders should have already been made aware of and hopefully are thinking about. If you're not one of those 10 communities getting your money from DOE, then you'll be getting your EECBG funding through OER. What you'll need to do to get those funds is to fill out a short application that we have available on our website, and then we will allocate those funds to you. Also on our website, we have the full details of how much money each community is getting and which entity you're getting your money from. So we've got an Excel sheet. It's available on our website. I've linked to it in the slide deck several times, and we can also put the link in the chat and make the slide deck available for folks after, so that you can make sure to go to our website and get all the program details. But the allocation amounts and to whom you're getting your funds for is all broken down in a nice table on our website. The application that you'll fill out, we've tried to make it short and accessible and easy for you to fill out and for us to review and approve. We want this to move quickly, and we don't want to make things harder than we need to. Basically, all we're asking is for a few details about the community, description of the project, and kind of a rough schedule of when you might be looking to start and complete the project. And we'll just be reviewing to make sure that it falls within program guidelines before we approve. The other exciting thing about the EECBG program is that our office has also pledged an additional $1 million of regional greenhouse gas initiative funding to supplement these formula awards. And that pool of funds is available to all 39 communities in Rhode Island to apply to us to get some supplemental money to go alongside the money you'll be getting from the federal government to support these energy initiatives. Going more into this application and award process, make sure everyone's clear on how this is going to work. As I said, 29 of you will need to apply to us and fill out our short application to receive these funds. We'll review those applications for eligibility to make sure that what you're proposing falls within program guidelines before we approve. Again, the application is available on our website, and applications are open now, and we'll be accepting those on a rolling basis. But they have to be received to us no later than February 1st of 2024. So that's about 3 months from now. We recognize that this is a tight timeline, but that is largely predicated on the timeline that DOE has given us to obligate the funds to communities. So we recognize that that's coming up quickly, and we're going to try to work with all of you to get those applications in and get those funds out to your communities. For eligible projects, there are 2 broad categories of work that can be supported using the EECBG program funds, and that's energy planning and capacity building and energy efficiency retrofits. So those are pretty broad categories, intentionally so. We are trying to cast as wide a net as possible and to allow you as much flexibility as possible to take these funds and apply them to as many activities as possible, so that each of you, based on what your local energy needs and priorities are, can hopefully take these funds and apply that to those efforts. I've got some examples here of eligible uses. You can use those funds to hire consultants or energy managers to do feasibility studies or energy management plans, or to help your community get organized and come up with a roadmap on identifying energy saving opportunities in the community. You could also use it for a whole host of equipment upgrades at your municipal buildings: lighting, HVAC, building automation, heat pumps, heat pump water heaters, weatherization, etc. There's a long list of things that are eligible. This is not an exhaustive list. What I do want to call attention to is a couple of things that are not eligible to be supported with this funding. So these funds can't be used for EV charging infrastructure, for solar PV projects, or for battery storage efforts. While we certainly support all of those efforts, and if those are projects that you're interested in undertaking, please let us know. We're happy to work with you to help support those type of projects. Just unfortunately, the EECBG program dollars cannot be used to support that type of work. But again, if you have questions as you're thinking about filling out your application about, well, I'm not sure if this is an eligible use of my EECBG funds, we encourage you to reach out to us. Ask. We will give you guidance before you fill out your application. We want to help you set you up for success and ultimately make the application process as easy and streamlined for you to fill out and for us to review and approve. So please, if you have questions as you're thinking about projects or the application, please reach out to us at any time. Once we have your application and have reviewed it, and the project that you're looking to do is eligible within the program guidelines I just went over, we will be executing a memorandum of understanding with each community. This will serve to outline the project details, memorialize the funding amount and the disbursement process for those funds to support your project, as well as the reporting requirements that we have in place for this program. So reporting is going to be an important part of this program. Since the majority of the funds are coming from the federal government, we have to comply with a number of different reporting requirements. And so we'll be working closely with all of you to ensure that we're all collecting the data and information that we need to support that reporting. So that'll be things like the Davis-Bacon Act, making sure prevailing wage is being paid to any contractors that are doing implementation work. This is a Justice 40 program that falls under the White House's Justice 40 initiative. So there are several equity metrics that we'll be collecting information on throughout the process of doing these projects, as well as we'll want to be capturing some energy and carbon savings estimates about these projects. I don't want anyone to get too concerned about the reporting requirements just yet. Our office is happy to work with you once we've awarded your project to kind of help set you up based on your individual project for success on reporting, give you a sense of what information that we'll be looking to collect, who you can look to get that information, maybe templates, other things. But I do just want to make sure everyone is aware that there will be some reporting requirements that will be outlined in full detail in the MOU, and we'll be working with all of you to capture that information to make sure that we can report out successfully to DOE. The last thing I want to call out about the application and award process is that for any communities who don't apply by that February deadline, you are at risk of losing access to those federal funds. Again, this is all coming from DOE. They're the ones setting the timelines. And so, we need to have your applications into us by that February 21st deadline so that we can obligate those funds to you and make sure that you get them and don't risk losing out on those. The next thing I wanted to go into a bit more detail on is the additional RGGI funding that our office is making available. So as I said, we've put up $1 million of RGGI funds to supplement the projects that you'll be funding with the money that's coming from DOE. This RGGI funding is available to all 39 cities and towns. So regardless of if your federal money is coming direct from DOE or if it's filtering through our office, all of you are eligible to apply to our office for a piece of that $1 million RGGI allocation. We wanted to make these funds available because we felt like it was important to provide a supplement to those formula or direct pay funds to hopefully facilitate either larger projects or perhaps multiple projects in each community. When folks check out the allocation sheet, you'll see that, based on the formula that DOE had, some communities are getting, $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. Others are getting, 70, 80, 100,000. So we wanted to provide an additional pool of funds that everyone could access to help facilitate either bigger projects or multiple projects or more comprehensive efforts in each of your communities. The important thing to note about the Reggie funds is that these are going to be available on a first come, first served basis, and those will be awarded at our office's sole discretion. So when you look at the allocation sheet on our website, those funds coming from the federal government, those are firm, those are guaranteed. Once you're approved, you are getting those dollars. But if you would like some of the Reggie dollars, you'll need to fill out a short application and send that to our office, and that'll be first come, first serve. Just to set expectations, no community can get more than $100,000 in supplemental Reggie funds from us. So while we want to make sure that we're trying to support bigger projects or multiple projects, we also want to make sure that the funds are available to as many of you as we can. So that'll hopefully give you a sense of scope and scale as you're thinking about, what projects in our community fit, what do we want to pursue. If you send me something for $2 or $3 million, just recognize we're not going to be able to fully fund that between the federal funds and Reggie funds. For those of you who are interested in accessing the Reggie funds, there's a short 2-page application that you can fill out. It's actually the second part of the application on our website. So if you're one of the 29 cities and towns that are getting your federal funds from us, part 1 is what you fill out to get the federal funds. Part 2 is what you fill out to get the Reggie funds. If you're one of the 10 communities that is getting their federal funds directly from DOE, you can just skip part 1 of that application, fill out part 2, and send that to us for consideration for Reggie funding. Those are clearly labeled, part 1, part 2, federal funds, Reggie funds. But if you have questions, certainly reach out. And again, for the Reggie funds, much like for those of you applying to us for your federal funds, those applications are going to be accepted on a rolling basis and no later than February 21st of next year. So, in summary, all in one place, the Energy Efficiency and Conservation Block Grant, or EECBG program, is making funds available for energy planning or energy efficiency projects to all 39 cities and towns in Rhode Island. To figure out how much you're getting in federal funds and to which entity will be dispersing those funds to you, again, please see the allocation spreadsheet that's linked on our website. When you're ready to apply, make sure that you double check that spreadsheet or this slide deck or our website to apply to the appropriate entity. So for the 29 of you that need to apply to us, please make sure you fill out our application, send that to us by no later than February 21st. But as soon as you're ready, please don't be shy. And for the 10 communities that are getting their federal funds directly from DOE, your application should go directly to them. And you have a slightly different deadline of April 30th of next year. And I've linked here, again, our website where you can get program information and the application for the Reggie funds, as well as the application to us, as well as to DOE's EECBG application portal and program hub. That website has a bunch of details about how you apply, where you send that application to DOE. There's a pretty robust FAQ section that folks can check out, as well as some contact information for DOE staff associated with this program that you can utilize if you're unsure whether or not you've already started the application or done the pre-award information, etc. For those of you who are getting your funds from us, either Reggie funds or the federal funds, once we have your application and have approved it to make sure that it is an eligible project type and determined your funding amount if you've asked for Reggie money, we will execute a detailed MOU with you. Like I said, this will outline what your project is, what the funding timeline is, the reporting requirements, and the data we'll be looking to collect. And then our office will issue a purchase order, which we will share with you, and that will obligate the funds to each of you. The two things I want to mention here about the funding timeline. So We need applications by February. We will then obligate those funds. Once we've awarded you your funds, you have 2 years, roughly till the end of 2025, to spend down those funds. So when you're thinking about projects, do keep in mind that while you're certainly encouraged and able to pick things that will move quickly, you also do not need to have something that is ready to go to construction in the spring. If you'd rather allocate that to something that will take a little more time to maybe go out to bid or to get started with construction. You have plenty of time to spend the funds once we obligate them to you. What we really need to focus on is just getting your applications in and getting your ideas for what you want to do with the money squared away. The other thing that I want to call out about the funding is that the way that the money will flow is in a reimbursement manner. So we'll obligate the funds to you for a specific project. Once you start that project and incur costs, you will send those invoices to us. We will review them and make sure they're associated with your EECVG project, and then we'll reimburse you for those costs that you've outlaid. So do also keep that in mind as you are thinking about what projects to apply to us for this funding for, that it'll be a reimbursement style program. And so there will need to be an initial capital outlay to your vendors and contractors for the work that we will then reimburse you for from this pool of funds. So that is the sort of high level summary of the program. I think, key takeaways are there's money for everybody coming from our office through Reggie. There's money for everybody coming from the federal government that you need to apply for. And those applications need to be in the spring. So you should be thinking about those. And if you have questions as you are thinking about eligible projects, as you are working through the application, anything related to logistics of the reporting or the funding flow, this is the contact information for myself and my colleagues who will be running this program from our office. Please reach out to us at any time. We are happy to take questions. We are happy to give guidance. We want to help you come up with good project ideas, get those into us, award you funds, and make sure that you can deploy them successfully to support your local energy priorities. The buckets are broad, and we hope that this funding will be a nice jumping off point to get some good projects done in all of your communities. And we view this as the start of hopefully an ongoing working relationship with all of you around municipal energy planning and project implementation. With that, I think I'll stop there. Sort of threw a lot of stuff at folks. If there are questions, we're happy to take those now. But our contact information is here if you want to reach out after the fact as well.
Great, thank you for that, Nathan. Excuse me. We do have one question in the chat, and that is from Trish Reynolds in Newport, and she asks if their Reggie funds are subjected to the same reporting requirements.
Yeah, great question. Generally speaking, the Reggie reporting requirements are not identical to the federal reporting requirements. It depends a little bit on what type of work that you're intending to fund. For folks who are doing things that might be more planning oriented with consultants and other vendors to do planning activities, those reporting requirements are going to be a little bit different than if you're looking to do, a retrofit with some equipment. We will work with each individual community on what the reporting requirements they need to adhere to are. We're generally going to try to align those Reggie reporting requirements with the federal reporting requirements where it makes sense, though, just so that we're reporting consistently across all program activities rather than having you kind of coordinate two different sets of reporting.
Okay, and then Ray is asking, maybe somebody could put the actual link to the application in the chat. He's trying to
Yeah,
find it on the website.
yeah. What I could do actually is,
Nathan, I'm almost there. I'll do it for you.
thanks, Terry.
Perfect. All right, other questions?
While folks are getting their questions ready, if they have them, I just wanted to reiterate, Jennifer, I think we'll be making this recording available through you. This will also end up on our website as well. So after the fact, if you want to revisit what I said here, the slide deck, the presentation, that'll be available through both the league and our website as well. So that's available to not only all of you here, but to anyone who may not have been able to join in real time and wants to get this information after the fact.
Absolutely. In fact, what I'm going to do, I don't know that everyone even knows that we at the League have a YouTube channel where we place all of these lovely presentations, but I'm going to put a link to that in the chat, and you can, at your leisure, feel free to subscribe. Oh, shoot. I don't know if that's going to, hopefully that works. Please feel free to subscribe, and then you'll be in the know as whenever I post anything. And if that didn't work, I'll just let me know and I'll get it to you. Other questions? All right. I think if that's the case, oh, Alice. Hi, Alice.
Yeah, I put a question in the chat. When
Did I
applying
miss it?
directly
I'm sorry.
to DOE, that would be through grants.gov, correct? Or do you guys have a link?
You apply to DOE directly through the page web portal.
Yeah, so it's not grants.gov
Okay.
directly. And I think Karen actually just put a link in the chat to the application hub for DOE. But there's a couple of different federal grant portals you need to be signed up for. But the application itself is going to be submitted through the Page platform, which is one of DOE's sort of program management and application portals. The website that Karen shared a link to is actually pretty detailed. It's their application hub, and it's got a nice list of steps for grants, including links and email addresses for folks as well.
Okay, any other questions? All right, I will take that as a no. But I would like to thank our friends from OER, Nathan and company, for joining us today and bringing us this exciting opportunity. Anytime we can get some funds to put back into the communities for this purpose, it's a huge opportunity. So thank you for that. And I'll just remind everyone or preview for everyone that March 21st, Thursday, March 21st is the League's annual convention. And I did just put a call for proposals out on our broadly and on our website as well. So if anybody has best practices in your community or you'd like to put a panel together, please feel free to do that. If you have questions, you can contact me. But right on the League's website under the events page, you'll find information on how to submit a proposal. So thank you, everyone, and we'll give you a half hour of your day back on a Wednesday. So enjoy that. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. And thank you, Jennifer. Appreciate the opportunity and looking forward to working with everyone.
All right. Take care. Thanks.